Here in the Sunshine State, a battle royale could be brewing between Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as speculation grows about 2024 bids for the White House. You're looking at the first ever DeSantis flotilla in Jacksonville, with organizers saying over 1,300 boats registered to honor the governor. Remember, flotillas had been a hallmark for pro-Trump Floridians to express their support while he was in office. But are MAGA Republicans slowly moving on from Donald Trump and his weighty baggage in favor of perhaps a more palatable leader? Well, according to the Washington Post, DeSantis has been quietly building his fundraising networks while gaining national attention for his attacks on President Biden and his focus on culture war issues. Plus, for the second year in a row, DeSantis has beaten Donald Trump in a straw poll at a conservative gathering in Colorado. Joining me now to read tea leaves and help me figure this out is Florida State Senator Jason PIZZO, also a good friend. Senator, thank you for being here. You know both Trump and DeSantis. Stuff like yesterday, I get it, it's demonstrative, but do you think that signals perhaps a move by Floridians to say, I've had enough of Donald Trump and his drama, I'm ready for Ron DeSantis, a leaner, meaner, thinner Donald Trump?
I think Ron DeSantis has done a very good job of telegraphing sort of headlines and bullet points and buzzwords and buzz phrases, but they're all sort of on the same playbook. I exclude Donald Trump. DeSantis, Abbott, Kristi Noem, other governors, they're jockeying and distancing themselves for position between each other. So we just came out of session, which you had us on earlier, critical race theory, don't say gay, women's reproductive rights and abortion bills and things like that. It's the same playbook, and they're trying to distinguish themselves. But DeSantis is resonating by saying very little, just on messaging. So I guess he looks like the more sort of tame Donald Trump.
But why? Why is DeSantis resonating so much better than perhaps some other people? Like Mike Pence, for example, there's rumors that he's been, staking his claim that I am not Donald Trump, but you would think somebody like an incumbent vice president, right, would eventually have a better chance than Ron DeSantis. Why is Ron DeSantis just so fancifully just favored at this point?
Donald Trump's greatest sort of tactic or utility as a politician was to enable and sort of empower people not to feel, to some extent, bad about who they are. Perhaps he sort of tapped into that, like, yeah, I'm not that bad of a person, or I shouldn't have to be made to do this. And how it's sort of been marketed in Florida as, free Florida, freedom Florida, and all that stuff. Really, it goes back to a very simple tenet that you and I learned in law school, which is Justice Brandeis said the word privacy is not in the Constitution, but it's well understood to be a right. And it's the idea of being left alone. And the droves of people that we have that move into Florida every day are moving out of places like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut that have high state income taxes. And it's really the idea about being left alone. It's not that there's some new taste, of anything. So he'll continue to talk about lockdowns and mask mandates and those things. And in Florida, we're free, but it does come at a great expense.
So what are Democrats doing in Florida to be able to secure the state again? Because Obama won twice, but then Trump won. So what are the Floridian Democrats doing in your party to make sure that perhaps this becomes less of, I was going to say we're purple, but now it seems like we're pretty red?
Not enough. So shortly, we have sort of I'll call it three branches. We have the Florida Democratic Party as a whole, statewide, but then inside of the legislative chamber, we have the House and we have the Senate. And there's a 40-member Senate, and we're trying to secure more seats. Everyone's up for re-election this year. So the Florida Senate Democrats are going to be rolling out an agenda that really is not very partisan. And by that, I mean it deals with things like affordable housing and health care and those issues, but certainly not enough. And I'll tell you, Katie, candidly, with the exception of Thursday, July 1st in Surfside, in my district where Joe Biden came, we haven't seen the president in Florida either.
And that's a problem.
It is.
The president needs to come to Florida to be able to try to secure more of a stronghold or foothold in Florida.
Well, to show that, they haven't given up on Florida.
And is that the energy that people feel in Florida, the Democrats especially, that perhaps the administration is just not paying attention enough to what's going on down here?
It definitely is a sort of a top-down kind of dynamic. And I'll tell you, we can only go so far, and you watch some of the elections, from the U.S. Senate, the gubernatorial candidates, for the Democratic Party here in Florida. And it's overweight with criticism of the other side, as opposed to, okay, well, you got my attention, but now what are you offering? Yeah. And we need to do a much better job of that, other than just Ron DeSantis has to go or Marco Rubio has to go. What are we selling?
quickly, before I have to let you go, I want to switch gears. Back in 2020, you proposed legislation that would make it illegal for children to post pictures with unlawful guns on social media. Considering the spate of recent horribly tragic mass shootings, are you going to try to reintroduce that legislation? Because I know it didn't pass.
Absolutely, every year. While I recognize, and I participated in one of the 400 demonstrations yesterday from March for Our Lives, continually year after year, especially in places like Miami-Dade County, more kids are killed by handguns, black and brown communities, than were killed in Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, under 18. And if a kid says, I'm going to shoot up the school tomorrow, law enforcement gets to go to the house. But a 15-year-old in possession of a loaded firearm standing on the street, racking it and loading it, of which I have pictures and videos, we can't do anything about it because right now the law says the officer has to be physically there to make that arrest.
So you're going to try to promote this legislation again? It's
the lowest hanging fruit, Katie. It's what kills the most kids in Florida.
Unbelievable. Florida State Senator Jason PIZZO, thank you so much for being here, and I'd love to have you back. Thank you.